Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. It is Mother's Day and I am going to be cutting a bouquet for my mom. So as you can see behind me, the Snapdragons are definitely ready to go. We also have a whole ton of Statice that is available. I have a volunteer Nigella that I did not plant this year, but it just self-seeded itself from last year's plant. I also have some Snowpuff Cosmos that I'm going to add for a little bit of flutter in the bouquet, and then I also picked up some roses from Costco yesterday. Roses are definitely something I can't grow in the garden right now just because of the limited space that I have, but maybe for the future. So let's start cutting and I'll show you how I'm going to be wrapping it to give to as a gift. All right, let's get started. So we are going to be starting with the greenery and any of the bulkier fillers. We still have a ton of this cress in the garden, so I want to try to use it as much as I can. All right, so we're gonna start with this cress and then some Statice. So you kind of want to put it up higher than you think you might need it, because eventually when you start adding more flowers, it's going to kind of just keep sinking, and you don't want to just lose the Statice in amongst all the other flowers. Okay, so and then with Snapdragons, you also want to put them towards the back because they're a really tall flower. They're meant to be a spike. So spikes are supposed to be very accented, kind of give it some height and dimension in your bouquet. So you want it up a little bit higher. And then with our roses, since I'm going to be putting about 6 of these roses in the bouquet, and since we have so many of these, we want to kind of evenly disperse them in our bouquet. I try to do a spiral method like a lot of the hand-tied bouquets, but I'm not very good at it. But I don't think my mom will notice if they aren't perfectly symmetrically spiraled, so I think she will enjoy the flowers either way. The thing with the hand-tied spiral technique is sometimes they start kind of like spiraling a little too much, and then they, like the Snapdragons or anything that are really tall, start kind of bunching together. So it gets a little bit challenging to work in that sense. I have a love-hate relationship with Cosmos. I like how they look. Sometimes they are a little finicky to kind of just incorporate because they get tangled in a lot of other flowers. So I just try to like leave them on the edges so that they kind of like hang over the bouquet. Do you see how the Statice is starting to sink in? So we're starting to lose that coloring. So we need to lower some of these flowers to kind of still showcase that purple Statice. I mean, we still have another sprig of it, so like we won't lose the color completely, but we want to make sure that we are still seeing it. Nigella is kind of like a funny flower. Sometimes it grows very like wonkily like this, which makes for an interesting in a vase, but it's very hard to kind of keep in a bouquet that you actually want straight stems, so this is not very straight. And if you have a loose grip, you'll be able to kind of like incorporate stems like this to kind of like break up this greenery section. It's very bulky in this middle, so we want to make sure we are adding other flowers in here so that it's not just a wall of green in the middle. I like to use a kind of open rose in the front to kind of draw some kind of focal to the middle of the flower bouquet. All right, and then to finish off the bouquet, I usually like to add any of the fillers towards the back, and then more green towards the back. And then we make any adjustments to kind of like showcase any of the flowers. Okay, so this is not really spirally at all, but it does make a very balanced bouquet. Gonna pull this up a little bit. It's really hot today, so my flowers are trying to droop. I gotta get these into water quick. All right, and then I'm going to tie them off with a rubber band, and then I'm gonna wrap it, and I'll show you how to wrap it in a minute. Alright everyone, that's it for today. We are off to my mom's house to celebrate Mother's Day. I wrapped this a little bit different than I normally did. This is a little, this is like Korean style florist wrapping. It's a little bit more showy, less protective of the balloons, but it does make for a great gift. So I really hope my mom really likes it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!